I have to say that I realized with this chapter that I'm not the biggest fan of Tsurugi and Yuka. Is that their names? I really don't know. And yes, I'm starting off the video a little bit strong because after this chapter, man, honestly, I feel like Yuka and Tsurugi can like stop appearing and I will have a lot of fun. Honestly, when I started reading the flashback chapter of the Simurians and Rumil and Diskunte, and then we got the chapter where like they're talking with Dabura and stuff, and then this chapter, whenever Yuka and Tsurugi appeared, I was like, what are you guys doing here? Like, you guys are still here? It's kind of like when you're reading a fantasy book and you have to read a POV that you just don't like, and you kind of just try and skip over it, and you're kind of like just, you know, looking at how many pages long is it. That's the way that I felt, dude, because oh my goodness, are these two characters, again, it's not that they're unlikable and it's not that they did something wrong. It's just, for me, the whole, you know, political issues and like just the whole situation between Simurians and humans is much more interesting. The whole situation with Usami trying to avoid conflict, this whole situation of the kind of confusion between cursed spirits and Karyans is just much more interesting for me. Maru and Kurosu are much more interesting characters than Tsurugi and Yuka, bro. Honestly, I really don't. It's not that I don't care about them two. It's just they're just less interesting. You know, it's like, how can I explain it, dude? It's like I don't know how to explain it, man. Like with like a food sort, because I love food, but it's like everything else is like having some barbecue ribs. You know, for example, everything else is like tendernism. You know what I mean? Everything else is tendernism. It's like, yeah, bro, like give me it. Like so delicious. Like you get so angry that is so tender. And then it's like Yuka and Tsurugi are like a kind of, you know, well done steak, which is like, I mean, it tastes good, but like I want the tendernism. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about Yuka and Tsurugi. It's like, if they stop appearing in the series, I really wouldn't even notice. When I started reading the last chapter in this one, I was like, oh yeah, you guys are here. Huh. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I think that just speaks volumes of how well Gege is like crafting the story, because it's really good. And I just personally just don't really mess with Yuka and Tsurugi. It's like, they're there and they're part of the story, but I would rather look at Maru and Kurosu and like just the other part of the plot than them two. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, so we're starting off this chapter strong. I really like the way that Gege is really simmering and really slowly cooking up what the conflict between humans and you know, Simurians is gonna be. This whole situation of cursed spirits and Karyans being very similar has been foreshadowed since like the whole flashback thing with the Karyans, and even since the first 3 or 4 chapters when the Shikigami appears and Kurosu Maru is like a Karyan. There are many theories towards what a Karyan is, but what is true is that they are very similar to a cursed spirit. I mean, we see that the one dude who is like against this whole peaceful pact thing, he was talking to a cursed spirit, and they do talk. But here's the thing, though. There's a lot of things in JJK. I think that maybe Karyans are more Shikigami than cursed spirit, and because here's the thing, they're kind of the way that I see it is that cursed spirits and Karyans are kind of like cousins. It's like, for example, let's say that here on Earth we only have dogs, just only dogs exist, right? And then the Simurians only know wolves, right? Like wild wolves. So they have wild wolves and we have dogs. So it's like when they come to Earth and they see that we have dogs in our homes, they get scared because they're like, yo, you guys are pretty tough because you guys have wolves as pets. And then we say, well, what is a wolf? And they're like, well, it's that thing. And we're going to be like, no, that's not a wolf. That's a dog. And then they're going to say, no, that's not a dog. That's a wolf. It's like, well, we call it a dog. Yeah, well, we call it a wolf. But they're not even remotely the same fucking thing because wolves are bigger and just are built different. I really hate saying that, built different, but I mean, that's the only word I can think of right now. But they're just kind of like built different, and dogs are like a little bit smaller. Most dogs are kind of smaller and they're just, again, built different, right? That's the way that I feel it. It's like they're kind of similar, but they're not the same. They're kind of like type of cousins. I think maybe like a Karyan is a type of Shikigami, and then curse spirits are just curse spirits. That's the way that I see it, unless Gege is going to give us like another species, and maybe we're going to get like not even a Shikigami and not even a curse spirit. Maybe it's another type of entity, another type of being that uses also curse energy. Maybe Karyans have a physical body, which I assume they have a physical body, because Kudosu does tell that one guy, he's like, hey, yo, like, that's not a Karyan. And he's like, yes, it is. And he's like, no, it's not, because this thing is disappearing. So that makes me think that Karyans don't disappear. They have a physical body, Now, the reason as to why their eye is crying, I think it probably has to do with the fact that when a Karyan passes away, it releases a lot of cursed energy, and that makes like the eye kind of weep, because again, their eye is the center of their cursed energy manipulation, right? How they use cursed energy. So I imagine that the same, when the cursed spirit dies or is exorcised, then it also releases energy. That's why the eye cries, but it's not as much as for example, as a Karyan, because they do say that the eye weeps when they are born and when they die. But I think it mostly refers to like kind of death in general. I don't know what I'm saying, but all I'm saying. All I'm saying is they might be similar, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be like a little bit similar, just maybe a different type of species, which I think the only difference is they're going to have a physical body. So yeah. And that really opens up the question of, for example, maybe, I mean, in the end, maybe could a Karyan just be like, instead of a curse spirit, just be like a curse, like Mahito, like Dagon, like Jogo, like Hanami, could that be a Karyan? Maybe a curse spirit that is a little bit more, has a higher state of being and is just maybe more rational. Because if that's the case, because I don't think that's the case, because they have shown the Karyan is like a type of, it looks like an animal. So I think it's an animal that can use cursed energy. So I wonder, could Gege be preparing us for Mahito showing up and leading the Cimmerians to fight against humans? And it could be Mahito and the Cimmerians versus Itadori and humans. Makes you kind of think, because again, I wonder how that's gonna work out, and I wonder how that's gonna be, because you know what I mean? I don't think Gege is showing us Mahito asking for Itadori. I don't think Gege is showing us the conflict that they're having over cursed spirits and Karyans. I don't think that Gege is giving mention to Itadori just to have that not go anywhere. I'm pretty sure Gege is kind of putting these things out there to kind of foreshadow and slowly give us the idea that both Mahito and Itadori are going to show up. Because here's the thing. They got pretty angry over humans mistreating or exorcising the cursed spirits. I can't even imagine the level of respect and awe they're gonna have for something like Mahito. And I think that's what's gonna happen. So I'm pretty sure Mahito's gonna show up And because they do mention like a voice, they do mention that they heard a voice. So it could be Mahito maybe talking to them in their dreams. And Mahito could be the one that's maybe going to take them to fight against humans. So yeah, I really think that's what's going to happen. I hope so, because if that's what happens, I'm really going to enjoy it, because Gege is leaving subtle signs that this is going to happen. So let's wait and see. I'm super excited. I'm super pumped for what's next. And yeah, guys, that's basically all I got to say. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have any answers, if you guys have any other theories or any other comments, feel very welcome to leave them here. Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend.